everybody. It is your guy Taz the Angel, and we are back with another live. And today, today, what we're going to be talking about, what we're going to be discussing. Let me see some of my. We're streaming on Facebook and YouTube today, by the way. But I'm gonna check my orientation of the YouTube video. See if it can. Oh, did that? Then boot. That's why. That's why. Need to put the rotation on too. There we go. Okay. So yeah, um, what we're going to talk about today is the fact that love is not to be proven; it is to be shared. There we go. It is not. It's to be expressed. It is not to be proven. It is to be expressed. And man, it's a very important distinction to make between the two because so often in movies and TV, we are always told that if someone really loves us, they'll prove it. They'll show us. They'll do this and they'll do that. Um, and to a certain degree, that's true because again, love is to be expressed. It's an action where it's a verb. You know what I mean? So it's literally an action word. So when we when we put that into account, we have to look at what's the difference. And I'm gonna be real with you. Y'all know me. I'm gonna just be real with y'all. I ain't trying to waste your time. The difference is the intention of the person who's receiving the love. One of the I don't know if you guys are familiar with the movie The Five Heartbeats, but there's this one famous line. Um, there we go. There's this one famous line in the movie The Five Heartbeats where there's a lot of famous lines, of course, but one that I'm talking about specifically right now. And try to get a bit closer without getting invasive. Yeah, we're working and you know what I'm saying, we're improving at the same time. One thing about me is you're gonna see me improve in real time. Like I'm not gonna be the guy who like, oh, as soon as I do something it's perfect. No, you're gonna see me improve in real time. Ultimate Eagle, how you doing today? How you doing? Um, Shout out to everybody on the lives, both platforms. Make sure you like the video, get it out to more people, share it out to more people as well. We are talking about the fact that love is not to be proven, it's to be expressed. And I want to help you guys never be trapped or manipulated or anything by someone who is trying to weaponize love because people do that sometimes and they don't always know and sometimes they do. Um, Shout out to Ultimate Eagle. Maybe later though, on a different live, of course. But yeah, so if a person is attempting to weaponize your love against you, we have to be aware of what that looks like and how that appears to us and how it affects us so we can make sure we do not become in bondage to that again. You know what I mean? So, like I said, there's this in the Five Heartbeats, there's this lady who the main characters, the main group, the Five Heartbeats. There's two guys in the group who are talking about trying to go and flirt with the lady, right? And they're developing the plan on how they're going to go and do it. And then one of them ends up leaving. I'm not going to tell a story if you haven't. I don't want that to be the focus. So one of them, gets to the lady and they walk out of the diner, restaurant, whatever they were in, and her husband walks out of the bathroom shortly after she walks out of the diner. And he looks around for her and he says, "Every night I gotta fight to prove my love." And I'm gonna tell you, that quote is one of my favorite quotes of all time. It's just so funny to me. Every night I gotta fight to prove my love. So, but that's how it looks. Because when we have to prove our love instead of being allowed to simply express it, then it actually is a fight. That's the thing. It actually is a fight. Because whenever something is misused, mishandled, perverted, um, the effects will always they're going to be effects. Now, a person can ignore them or not, but there will be effects for that. So, what's the difference? Because again, I'm not here to waste your time. What's the difference? The difference is when you express love. If the way you want to express love today is by going and picking up a bacon, egg, and cheese croissant from your partner's favorite bakery, if they receive that and say thank you, then that's them receiving an expression of love. But if you surprise them with that and then they complain and say, "Well, why didn't you do this? Why did you get this? I don't like this. I don't." That's a person who wants you to prove your love. And I'm going to tell you the thing about everybody who wants you to prove your love is nobody actually will receive that love. None of the people who demand for you to prove it will actually receive it. They can't. They don't have the capacity to. And that's why this is so important. Because even though they will believe that they are, and they will tell you that they are, they just simply don't have the capacity. It's like, and I'm never here to insult anyone, but this example is just going to be an extreme version to make it clear, right? So let's say you're talking to your 5-year old child, and they're like, "Hey, mom and daddy, I want a new toy. I want a telescope. I saw this $500 telescope." They don't know what $500 is. They just know that's what the number is, and this is the telescope. It looks nice, right? Well, if you tell them, "Well, the reason why we can't spend $500 on a telescope right now is because we have to make a payment on rent, and then in 3 more days we're going to have the car note and the car payment due, and then we have," they may say okay at the end of that. But if you believe that your 5-year old kid understands the concept of money, fiscal responsibility, and all of that, then we need to slow down on parenting and the others at this point. I'm just saying. So, um, when we thinking about this, we have to be aware that um, the person who wants us to prove these types of things isn't the type of person who actually wants to receive these types of things. And I like to send my things to a biblical route. I like to filter everything I say through the Bible, right? So in the Bible, um, when Jesus fed the multitude, it says 5,000 people, not counting women and children. It says that. So it's way more than 5,000 people he fed with the bread and fish, right? After he got done with that, shortly after, when everybody got hungry again, the disciples came and was like, "Hey, yo, they hungry. You know what I'm saying? What we gonna do?" He's like, "All right, take care of it." And they're like, "I mean, what you want us to do? You fed them last time. What you can't feed them this time?" He said, "Nah, man, y'all just want me to keeping your stomach full. I'm trying to feed you the bread of life. I'm trying to give you food that make you never hunger again. You know what I'm saying?" Um, and when they weren't perceiving that, they was like, Okay, well, Lord, show us a miracle. Show us a sign. Huh? You mean I just um you mean I just fed bare minimum 10,000 people, because again it's 5,000 only counting men. That is not counting women, that is not counting children, and that's girls and boys. You understand? So bare minimum 10,000 people. I just fed 10,000 people with, I don't remember the numbers. It's either 5 fish and 2 bread, or 5 bread and 2 fish. I'm not sure which one, but it's a very small amount of food. Okay, 7 pieces of food. I want to say 5 pieces of fish and 2 pieces of bread. 10,000 people, minimal, bare minimal. And shortly after that, you're asking me for a sign to prove. How is that not a sign? You see what I'm saying? That's what it is to prove our love. When we're put in a situation where we have to prove, it does not end. It only becomes a checklist and a to-do list. And that to-do list, I'm gonna be honest with you, usually will never get completed. As soon as you get to where you think the bottom is, it's another page. You hear me? Like that, it don't go away. It don't leave, because the mindset of the person who wants you to prove your love to them constantly, they cannot receive genuine love and like store it. You see what I'm saying? So we have to make sure um, that we're not allowing our genuine expressions of love to continuously be disregarded by having to be proven another time immediately after, right? So when we're when we want to just simply express love, and that's what we're supposed to do, is just genuinely express our love. We want to, one, have a genuine expression ourselves, but we also too want to make sure that the type of love that we're expressing is actually desirable by the person that we're expressing it to. Because let's go with love languages, right? With love languages, if you if a person likes to spend physical time and that's their love language, thank you so much, AB, for the stars. I appreciate you. If a person has a love language to where they want to spend time with people, if you just give them gifts and then leave, that may be nice from you, but it does not fulfill their actual love language, their preferred way of receiving love. So when we're genuinely expressing love, we have to also, first and foremost, care about the type of love person wants to receive. One of the things that a lot of people love to say nowadays is, I love hard. Why? Why does it have to be hard? Pause. I don't, and this is not a knock. This is me trying to make us all aware of the way we say things and what we mean when we say them. I love genuinely, from my heart, sincerely. But to love hard implies that there's a level of force involved, because everything hard has a pause. You see what I'm saying? There's a level of force involved in that. So it may be better for us to love softer. We've had a lot of years of a lot of people loving hard, and it hasn't been panning out like they've been wanting it to mostly. And this is an observation of love. This isn't I always speak from from a place of trying to help. I'm not trying to judge anybody because I just don't have a desire to. It's not about, sure, I messed up and all that, but even if I didn't, I just do not have a desire to judge anybody. I just want to help. I want to help and I want to love. And I want to help you love. Which is why we have to know the difference between proving it and expressing it. Another way that we can find ourselves trying to prove it is if we do something and we're expecting something as a result. Like, oh, I washed your car. You should have said thank you, and you should bought me food. If we're expecting something to be done as a result, we might want to make sure that we check our heart posture to make sure we actually are sincerely expressing love and not just doing something to receive validation and not just doing something to receive a thank you or a pick me up. Because sometimes that can happen. Sometimes, instead of genuinely expressing love, a person might do something that looks like it just so they can get the response from it. Does that make sense? And we really have to be aware of these things because if we aren't, again, we can unfortunately fall victim to having to prove our love or lie. And what up, Daniel? um, and we don't want to do that, man. We just don't want to be. I'm in Texas. We don't want to be. Um, we don't want to be stuck in the loop in the prison. Honestly, not even the loop. We don't want to be stuck in the prison of having to constantly prove our love. Even Jesus said, how long will I have to suffer y'all, ye of little faith? How long do I have to suffer you people? Jesus said that. Because when we just want people to prove, we end up running out of favor from those people. And we end up grieving those people. We end up grieving those people's spirit. And we can't do that. We can't do that. That's not love. You know what I mean? And we want to express genuine love. So, like I was saying earlier, maybe let's try a softer brand of love. One that leads with listening and leads with observing because we want to know what kind of love that person. What's up, Jacob? We want to know what kind of person that we're dealing with ultimately. Because again, man, we don't want to be stuck in the prison of, and we do not want to imprison other people into making them prove love to us. The topic, Jacob, is um, love is to be expressed, never to be proven. And I'm trying to help people to not be stuck in the prison of having to prove their love all the time. What up, Daniel? I'm glad you're back, bro. But we don't want people to continue to be stuck in the prison of having to prove their love all the time because nobody, yeah, I can. Um, but I don't do random shout outs. I'm not being mean. I don't do random shout outs because if I get too distracted, I'll lose my train of thought. So I just really try to. That's why I'm like, hey, what's up, y'all? And I get back to it because if I talk too long on a different subject, it might throw my train of thought out there. So that's the only reason why I don't really like do the shout outs and stuff like that. Now I'll shout you out, because you're here, not being rude or anything, but anything outside that can sometimes distract me, and I just try to stay focused. That's all. Um, what's the difference between the expression of love and proving love. When a person wants you to prove your love, it's because they have already decided they are not going to accept it. And the reason why we know that is because after we express our love, they will have another thing for us to do to prove that we love them. I mean, I know you just wash the dishes, but I mean, why you ain't wash the car? Why you ain't wash the clothes? Why you? I mean, I know you bought this for me, but why you ain't buy this instead? It's always going to be something else because that person has genuinely already decided they will not receive your love, whether they know it or not. That's where their heart is. It doesn't have to be where their mind is. You see what I'm saying? And that's why this stuff is important because we have to pay attention to a person's motivation, not just what are people doing, but why are they doing it? Because if we don't know a person's why, then genuinely we just do not know them. Because put it to you like this: say you have two people who got arrested in some kind of grocery store for shoplifting food. One person had been living on the streets for about 5 days with no food. They were just trying to survive. The other person finds a thrill in getting away with theft. Those are two completely different people that are locked in. Those are two completely different humans. Those minds are worlds apart, even though they were found doing the same action. You understand? So the intention behind the why always outweighs the what because the why is what decides and dictates the what. This guy was hungry, he stole food to not starve to death. You see what I'm saying? So we want to make sure that we're not in the stuck in the confines and in the imprisonment of proving our love to people who have already decided to not receive it. Because the people who want to receive it, hold on. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me, y'all. But so the people who have decided to accept our love already, you can always tell because not only will every single expression exactly by expressing your love, you're not proving it because you're doing what's natural. But to prove it means you're completing a task. Like I got to do this, or you know what I'm saying. Let me go make sure I go get these flowers. If I don't, I know it's gonna be an argument. That's not love. You know what I'm saying? Like if we have to Valentine's Day, if a person has to pick up chocolate and flowers to have peace in their home on Valentine's Day, is that love? You see what I'm saying? Not saying that nothing should be done to express love, but is it expressing it or is it proving it? If not doing these things will instantly disrupt peace, is it an expression of love or is it proving? You see what I'm saying? So we have to really care about these things and we have to take time to pay attention. In this society, we're told to just move so fast and just act on our emotions. If somebody disrespected you, you're supposed to get them back. Like, if I'm being honest, society tells everybody to be children. They tell you that growing up is bad, so women do not get mature, get everything to take every wrinkle off of your face. Dudes dye all your hair jet black, even though you're 75 years old. Everything in this society, this one here in America, is telling us to stay a child, remain immature. That's what it tells us. Wear makeup and all these things to cover up your actual age. Wear everything, man. I don't surgeries, Botox. It's come on. Everything that tells you to mature, you're weak. If a person calls you some kind of disrespectful name while you're walking down the street, and you just look at them and you keep on walking, because why does it matter that they have that opinion? Other people be like, "Oh man, you weak, okay, okay," because so many times people are doing things to prove stuff. It's not their genuine response, it's what they believe they're supposed to do in the moment to maintain a cohesive moment. Perfect example, a black person, any black dude. We're just gonna get right to it. Any black dude, if he gets called an N word by any white dude, a lot of times the black dude, honestly, in his heart, will not want to fight. And we just being straight up, because everybody don't want to. A lot of people don't leave their houses to get in a fist fight, y'all. I don't. When I leave my house, I want zero fist fights. Okay. When I get back in my house, you know how many fist fights I want? Zero fist fights. I just want them all zero. Most people do not leave the house in anticipation for fisticuffs, right? So it's like, just because this person says something. Now, what if this dude, this black guy who just got called the N word, what if he's on the way to go to his child's soccer game, his son's soccer game, and after that they're going to go out for pizza and to a movie, whether they win or lose? Is he supposed to throw all of that away and his freedom to punch this guy just because other people heard him being called the N word? Most people say yes in the moment, because most of the guys react emotionally and start swinging and punching, because so many times we are taught to destroy ourselves by letting our emotions decide how we behave. Like children throwing a temper tantrum. He called me the N word. I got to fight now. What's the difference between you and a second grader? That's the same thing as a second grader saying, "He said my mama." It's the same thing. Enough is enough. Enough is enough, y'all. That that has to go. Doing things for a certain specific response from people has to stop, because it's not genuine. It's not real. By the way, being a real one is not somebody who's violent and not somebody who's prone to like being hostile and dramatic and cussing and vulgar and all that. Being real is genuine. That's what the word real means. It's actual, it's genuine, authentic. So if you by nature are a nerd and you behave like a nerd with the people around you, you're a real one. I'm a nerd. I tell you that all the time. Look at my YouTube channel. I'm talking about anime. I'm wearing anime clothes. I have anime like swords, and I'm a nerd. I just look like this. You know what I'm saying? But I'm a nerd, and because of that acceptance, I don't require anybody on this planet to agree with me. And y'all may not know how much of a superpower that is. But when you can make the right decision and stand on it, no matter who disagrees with you other than God, because that's why I said the right decision. When you can stand on that decision despite all of the adversity, you're ready to progress. You're ready to succeed, because that's what it takes. It's called resilience. You see what I'm saying? Listen, there are certain things that we won't learn without hardship. You can't learn how to push through without experiencing something difficult enough for you to have to push it. How do you learn? How do you gain the second wind or the ability to push once you get tired? How do you have to get to the point where you're tired and want to quit first? You got to get there first. That's number one. Numero uno. You got to get to the point of exhaustion first, and that's when it starts. That's when the lesson begins. Y'all know who I learned that from? Muhammad Ali. he was running, and there was a reporter with him. He was like, so how long do you run, Muhammad? And he was like, oh, I run till it pains me. I run till it hurts me. When it start paining, that's when I know it began. That's when it starts. Because there are certain lessons that we don't learn until pain starts. You can't learn to persevere without pain. I'm sorry. None of us can. This is just reality. So if we want to be able to persevere and be able to keep going and never stop no matter what happens to us, that means something got to happen to us. You know what they say, no matter what. You mean that means there's a what? I'm going to do this no matter what. That means that there are some what's that's trying to stop that from happening. You see what I'm saying? So I want to get back to like what I was saying as far as the and again guys, make sure you like the video and send it to somebody else who needs to be released from the prison of having to prove their love, um, and just having peace removed from their life. Send this to somebody who can benefit from this. And we all know a few people. Let's just be real about it. We know a few people. So, love has to be a genuine expression of our heart to someone simply for the fact of us wanting them to know how we feel about them. Perfect, easy, simple example. When I say I love you to somebody, I don't need them to say I love you too. When I say I miss you to somebody, I don't need them to say I miss you too. I don't need it. It's nice if they say it. I don't need it though because I wasn't saying it to hear it. I was saying it because I was expressing it to them. And they may not be in the. Sometimes people aren't in a place to always be able to reciprocate that because I might tell somebody I love you so much right in the middle of them thinking about all of their bills. And they budget in and how I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna I love you. What is such a drastic switch? That person may not be in the place to just, oh, I love you so much. And that's okay. That's fine. Which is why we don't want to make people have to do that. Have to say I love you too. Have to say I miss you too. Have to say I. We don't want an echo. We can get a parrot for that. We don't need an echo, man. I did a podcast episode, shoot, man, 4 or 5 years ago at this point. Be a voice, not an echo. I don't do things for a person to become an echo. I don't say something for them to repeat me. You see what I'm saying? But a lot of times that's something that can happen. Sometimes we can express love just because we want it expressed back. Like, because we just need somebody to express it back. So let me do this nice stuff for them. Let me do this nice stuff for them. I know they're gonna do it. I'll do it back, and then I'm gonna feel good after that. And then when no one reciprocates, then that person ends up into a deficit because they genuinely didn't have that energy to expend to that place, but they only did it in anticipation that people would pour back into them. And unless we have already been shown, unless that person has already proven that they are going to pour back into us, pour love and positivity back into us, we can't assume they will unless they've shown that. Just being honest with you, we can, but I'll say it's irresponsible and it's honestly dangerous to assume that people will just automatically reciprocate your expressions of love. It's dangerous to expect that because who's to say y'all have the same love language? You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't have to do anything with desire. If that person just does not express love in the same way that you do, then Are you okay receiving that for the rest of your life, or do you need someone else to express love to you in a different way for the rest of your life? And people like to say that, oh, because this relationship didn't end until one of us died, it was a failure. Stop it. Stop. How can you say a 5-year relationship was a waste of time? What were you doing? Did you not learn anything? Did you not progress in any area of your life? How is it wasted? Just because it didn't end in a lifelong commitment? We have to stop this. This is entitlement that it has to be crushed. Crushed. Entitlement needs to be crushed. You hear me? Because it'll make us. It's entitlement can get disgusting. I'll just say it that way. That's the nicest way I can say it. Entitlement can make people become very disgusting, and that's what happens when people start making other people prove love. It gets really disgusting. Well, if you really love me, you would do this. If you really love me, you would say that. If you really love me, you wouldn't go there anymore. If you really love me, you would. It's a never ending checklist. It's a never ending checklist. And it can, like I said, it can get grotesque out here. You hear me? It can get grotesque out here. So we have to pay attention, man. We have to be able to understand not just what's happening, not just what are we experiencing, not just what is someone doing. Why are they doing it? Okay? Because the why will always dictate the what. We don't do something without a reason for it first. Even if the reason is I just thought about it or I just wanted to. Something. It has to arrive first. We don't say anything that we didn't think first. When a person say I don't have any filter, they're not saying they didn't think about it before it came. They didn't have the thought before it came out. They're saying they didn't have anything to slow it down from being thought to words. But it was a thought first. It has to be. Has to be. That's just reality. At least on this plane. So for us to learn how to understand if people are genuinely accepting our expressions of love or if they're wanting us to prove our love, the way we can tell the difference between a person's heart posture and all of that, the way we begin to grow in discernment is by asking Lord Jesus to open our eyes to the things that he needs us to see in everyone around us, including ourselves. See, y'all weren't ready for that one. I already know it. I know it. You ain't got to tell me. You ain't got to say nothing about it. I just know you weren't ready for me to, you feel me though. I know you wasn't. But yeah, it starts with us. It ain't about just looking at who's doing me like this. Who am I doing? Because as I said earlier, we don't want to be in the prison of proving our love, and we don't want to imprison others in making them prove their love to us because that's just as grotesque. Trying to stop being the victim and then become the person who creates a victim, that's never better. You understand? So we're not going to fall into the prison and we are not going to entrap anyone else into imprisonment of making them prove their love because that's not. And again, I'm going to say what I said earlier. Everybody, everybody who wants you to prove your love by completing certain tasks or saying certain things, that person has already decided that they were not going to accept your love, which is why they have something else on the list after that thing. Because if they were going to accept it the first time, there wouldn't be a second thing for them to say. There wouldn't be a second thing for you to do. But with those people, there's always a second thing, usually more. So we have to understand that we can't make someone love us. And we need to stop trying to do that. That's also a way where we're robbing ourselves of peace. Trying to make a person love us when there are other people who are actually begging us to love us. But because the person or the specific individual that we want to do it ain't isn't, we besmirching everybody else who could be doing exactly what we need because we're stuck at what we want. Even though what we want is hurting. Humans, right? Humans, am I right? Listen, love is to be expressed, not proven. Because everybody who wants you to prove your love has already decided they will not accept it. Okay? Listen, y'all know me, man. I'm finna get out y'all here. I ain't coming to waste your time. I'm gonna ask y'all to do a few free things. One, like the video, get the likes up, please, so we can get the algorithms pumping. I saw somebody said the algorithms took me to Cape Town today, so I'm cool with that. I appreciate that. Get the likes up so we can continue spreading this message that's truly helping people. Because I'm doing this to try to help as many people as I can. So this is the type of message that we need to have go viral, and not people getting beat up and drinks thrown in their faces and all this killing and hurting and stuff. We need to make genuine love go viral. You need to make genuine love go viral by sharing this video to at least 5 people. That's how you will make love go viral. That's how you will make love go viral. Share this video to at least 5 people and tell them to do the same thing. Because we can do that for funny videos. We can do that for videos when people are getting killed. We can send out George Floyd and Mike Brown, rest in peace to everybody who got killed unjustly. If we can make those videos go viral, I can guarantee you we can make love go viral. Real, genuine love that comes from Jesus Christ Himself. That's the love that we need to make go viral. And I'm going to give you a few free things too. I want to tell y'all that I love you genuinely. That's why this is because I had this information for myself. Sure, I could have just went to sleep with it. No. I want y'all to have this to have a better life and a better experience on this planet. So one, I love you. Two, I appreciate you. And three, I'm going to holler at y'all, man. I got to get on up out of here. Y'all have a great day. I appreciate y'all. Share the video. Share the video.